Hi there, it's me, your humble neighborhood stroke assaulter. Recording this video about 4:30 in the afternoon, later than I normally would, but I had a bit of technical issue with my laptop this morning. I'm recording every video on a laptop, as I never intended to be a YouTuber. I don't actually have a decent camera yet. That'll come when I can afford it. I'll talk about that shortly. So, today's video is going to be called Making Smart Decisions. So, I made a video a while back about need to take action. So, job opportunity opened up at my work, which I believe I would be the best candidate for. And I was going to be stubborn and just go back to work. I'm written off right now until September 22nd. Well, that's what I was written off to. The neurologist had subsequently written me off till December. I had wanted to ignore that and go back as fast as I could. Today, I went to work. I had to turn in some documents, and I just sort of hung out for a while. And I realized after a while, and I mean a very short while, about an hour, that there's just too much ambient noise, and I couldn't do it. Just way too much ambient noise. And I realized at that moment, there's no way I should be even applying for that job. So I went to HR and I said, listen, we need to make this short term into long term because I'm not going to be able to come back in 3 months. It's not a reality. Did I want to make that decision? No. Didn't want to. Did I have to make that decision? Yes. Yeah. And the worst part is, it's the best decision. So as you have to make decisions about you returning to work, and if you're like me, you're driven, you want things, you want to get them done, you know. Yeah, so I don't have a choice. I had to turn in the note. I was prepared to go to work today and just sort of fumble through, you know, force myself to be there as long as I could, and then just see if I can do it, you know. Fortunately, for the type of work I do, there is a lot of ambient noise around. I thought I could just drone it out, but I couldn't. So, long story short, I'm written off till sometime in December. Now I just got to do the paperwork to make that happen, which will be tonight or tomorrow's task, which to do the paperwork to make that happen. Yeah. I've got a month to turn it in, so I got more than enough time to do said paperwork. This sucks. Like, don't think in any way it doesn't suck, because it does. Because I really hate this, right? I don't have a choice. I have to write myself off. There's no way I can even return to work and be effective. That's just the reality of the matter. I can't handle the ambient noise. Unfortunately, you wouldn't think it's noisy where I work, and I didn't have a problem with it before. Like, it just was there. And I could just tune it out. Yeah. I couldn't do that, right? I wasn't able to. So now I got to find a way to get used to ambient noise. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I got to find a way. So I got to get through that. And, you know, it's not anything physical. That's the problem with me right now. It's not a physical thing, right? Like, there's nothing physically wrong with me per se. I have some physical limitations that I'm still working on, yes. But there is no way to exercise for this. Like, there's no drill that I can do except for go to noisy places and hang out, right? So, guess I'm going to be doing that for a while. Fun, wow. We'll see. I don't know. But basically, I guess the message for today is I can remember exactly where I was right before my stroke. And you know what? There was an agent at work that had a question, and it's a question I had complete the ability to answer. And partway through answering that question to help that individual, I started stuttering. And it made me feel, and I immediately recognized that this isn't the right time for me, right? Sucks. But it made me realize I've got to make the most sensible and realistic decision, right? So when you talk about goal setting, you've got the SMART and acronym, right? So simple, specific, manageable, achievable, right? Relevant and realistic, and then time sensitive, right? Well, it's a simple goal. Yeah, I want to go back to work. It's a specific goal. Yes, I want to go back to work. Is it manageable? Like, can we make sure that there's a way to manage the goal to make sure that you're on task and on aim and you're getting the intent of the goal down? Yeah, completely. Is it achievable? Yeah, it's an achievable goal. Is it realistic? No. There's no way realistically I can go back to work, right? And that is not a realistic thing until I can handle ambient noise, right? At home, if I put on CBC radio and just listen to it, or like a YouTube video or something on Netflix or the TV or whatever, that's not a problem because it follows kind of a logical pattern and it's just one voice. Even if it's a radio program where they're interviewing 2 or 3 people, I can still follow that, no problem at all. You put a lot of ambient and transient noise in the background and I'm a write-off. I'm completely a write-off. So the realistic thing for me right now, as much as I do not want to do it, is to step away from work. Right? I'm done till December. Right? And that's going to be a thing. What am I going to do in the meantime? Well, me and my stroke folk will hang out. I'll do more content. In fact, if there's something you want to see me do content on, I will happily do that. And if I can think up some new content, we'll do that as well. But that being said, yeah, I am now officially off till December. I was trying to avoid the reality of that. I was trying to avoid basically how that feels. Right? I got the note, and I know initially I did the whole return to work video about, I'm written off till December. I was trying to avoid that at all costs. Like, completely, totally avoid that. I can't. So, on that note, I'm going to listen to my doctor. And I'm going to not go back to work until I'm ready. And I'll do a video about this later. The biggest problem I have with that is there's so many things up in the air that I have no legitimate control over that bothers me. And I'll do a video about that, maybe later today, if not tomorrow. Might have to do some research on the internet. So anyways, just the message you need to take away is when you do your goal setting, right? Make sure the R, the relevant and realistic, is the basis behind the goal, right? Because if it's not relevant, right? Yeah, it's relevant, I go back to work. It was quite relevant that I go back now, right? Because there was an opportunity that I did not want to miss, right? It's not realistic. It is completely not realistic. So, and I'll do a thing on goal setting later, right? Especially with the stroke, because it's difficult to set goals. And yeah, it sucks, right? And I'd like to thank a few people today that I was able to bend their ear and have a conversation with about sort of where I'm at. You know who you are. I'm not going to name any names. But if you happen to be an evil physiotherapist, thank you. Okay? If you happen to be a good friend from work, thank you. If you happen to be one of the people that I, pulled down to the floor the day I had my stroke, thank you. Okay? If you happen to be someone that was crawling all over me when I had my stroke, thank you. Okay? So you know who you are, but without any names. So that being said, I'm going to bid you all a good day. And just remember, if you happen to like what you've been watching over the last, a little over 2 months, please like, share, subscribe with your friends. If you happen to know someone that's going through the throes of a stroke, or if you're a friend or family member of someone that's going through the recovery along with someone that's had a stroke, because much like Jerry Boyle, if you can mark an X, you're my kind of people. Well, if you've had a stroke, or you're stroke folk, you're my kind of people. See how many people get that reference. Please like, share, subscribe with your friends. Maybe someone will get something out of this, like one of my previous, just recent joiners. And if you happen to see either in yourself or someone around you the signs or symptoms of a stroke, that being, I should remember this, I've had a stroke. Facial droop. Yep, facial droop. I had that one. Inability to raise both arms equally or effectively. I also had that one. Inability to smile equally effectively. I also had that one. Inability, stuttering or slurred speech. Yep, had that one. Inappropriate word usage for situation or context. Also had that one. Inability to stand unaided. Yep, had that one. General body weakness or weakness on one side. Yep, I also had that one. Please immediately place that person in a position of comfort and dial 911. Something so simple can save a life.